think I did have this plugged in somewhere, so I had better lighting. But I think I plugged it in too.
Okay, so there you go.
Okay.
Can't fucking see. There you go.
Thank you. That's better.
There.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I just don't know if this is working. Is this going?
Looks like it. Says live for a minute now.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that start streaming here does start it. 'Cause
Okay.
you're already connected to your thing.
All right then. We will edit it later. Hello all. I decided to do... Can you close that door, babe? Thank you. Oops. So, I'm back again. Trying to do a live stream because I don't feel like recording a video today and then editing it so that it will go up tomorrow. So I thought maybe if I just do something a little bit different today, that's what I'll do. And what I wanted to do is just kind of go over what I did this weekend because I had such a fun time this weekend. I had planned on, actually there was my husband he finally gave me a list, right? I love planning a vacation or a getaway or a weekend away, or whatever you want to call it. I love planning it tremendously. It's what I live for, and he always laughs because I can put, as he says, a lot of fun in a little amount of time. And I do, I love it. So he finally gave me a list of things that he wanted to do that maybe someday we would get to. But of course, me being me, I'm like, let's do it. So I went through all this huge list that he had, and there was one thing on that list that I just couldn't get in to everything else, which was fine. So I had planned a one-day day trip that we would be leaving. As you know, I live in Massachusetts, and we were going to drive to Pennsylvania and then come back. It was just going to be a day trip. But I started getting antsy. I haven't been on vacation for a little while, and I just wanted out. I wanted some time where I was just with my husband and we were having fun. So I decided to then add more time to this vacation. So what I did was I looked at other things. Our main, what would you call it? Our main adventure, we were going to go to the C.F. Martin guitar factory. My husband is huge into guitars, much to my dismay. No. Honestly, I really don't care. I love that he's passionate about it. He plays guitars. He was in bands before we got together. He fixes guitars now, and we actually, when we moved here, we built a whole outbuilding for him so that he can do guitar repairing, and he does a great job. And like I said, he's so passionate, and I love to see that passion. I don't care what it is that someone's doing, but if you're passionate about it, it gets you excited. So one of his things on his list was to go to this Martin guitar factory. And I said, okay, great. So that's what we had planned for Friday. Well, like I said, I started to think, let's do more of a extended weekend, something fun. And that's what we planned, and that's what we did. So on Thursday night, we left here and we drove to Western Mass. And our first stop was, and I'm gonna use my list here because I want to make sure that I get all these things so that you can enjoy where we went, and maybe you can go to those places as well. So our first stop was the Irish Cultural Center of Western New England. I have to tell you, it's so funny. From the outside, from the street, you don't see the great facade of the, did I say facade? I did. Facade of the Irish restaurant and what they have to offer. It's the cultural center and it's really cool. But once you go around the back, you see the restaurant and you see how they've decorated it. There's an outside area where people can go and eat and drink. I think it would be a great place for anybody to go to. If you like Irish food, the food was so good. The people there were really, really friendly, very welcoming. Sometimes when you go to an actual place that's in a cultural center, they tend to be a little more guarded and not so open to the public. Yes, I'm Irish, but I'm not a member there. So I don't know, it's one of those things that sometimes when you go to places like this, it's not as open as what you would want. Well, this place was very, very welcoming. Our bartender was super friendly, super helpful. I had a couple of cocktails and my husband had a Guinness. I ended up having the bangers and mash, although they don't call it mash because it's mashed potatoes with with cabbage, which I think is so delicious, but I don't know how they pronounce that, so I'm not even gonna try. So I'm just gonna say bangers and mash. It was so delicious and I highly recommend it. My husband got the, what did he get? I didn't even write it down. Meant to. I think it's because I completely forgot what it was that he got. But I think what did he get? The shepherd's pie. That's what he got. It looked so good. He said it was delicious. So I would definitely highly recommend you going to the Irish Cultural Center of Western New England. The restaurant part of that is called the Irish House Restaurant. So delicious, so yummy. And like I said, the people there were very friendly. They had a large area inside that you can eat. We were at the bar and I would say there was probably about 10 seats at the bar, but there was plenty of space for people to go in, and the outside was really expansive. It had a tent, so I'm sure once the weather gets a little bit nicer, it'll be perfect for people to go to. Plus, it overlooked a soccer or rugby field, or soccer and rugby field. I think that'd be really fun in the summertime, but definitely check that out. Well worth it. We ended up staying somewhere in between our home and the Martin Guitar Factory overnight. We just spent the night and we woke up, and the next day, which was Friday, we ended up going to the Space Farms Zoo and Museum. Where is that? That's in Sussex, New Jersey. Again, I would highly recommend you going to this place. It was so much fun. I couldn't even believe, honestly, I wasn't expecting much. My expectations were very low. I didn't look into it much because that's not how I do things. If I find something that maybe I want to see, or maybe something I want to do, it's kind of like a movie. Like when I see a movie that I want to see, I don't want to watch any of the trailers because I don't want to know what it is I'm going to see before I see it. Why bother going there if I'm going to get all the information well before I get there? So once I found this place, that was it. Found the place, let's go. The outside was really cool. It had like this big building and the parking was across the street. We got there early, right when they opened, which was 10 o'clock in the morning, because we had to get to the Martin Guitar Factory for our 2 o'clock tour. So I wanted to make sure we had plenty of time to be at the zoo, which I gave us 2 hours, because we had an hour and a half to drive to get to the Guitar Factory. We went in there, like I said, not expecting much. And the first thing I see is a fox. and I was all in. They had so much at this zoo, and it was so great to see. Off to the side there was a little like petting zoo with some goats, and sure, that was cute. That's not necessarily what I get into. I don't want to be petting animals and feeding them. That's not what I'm into. But they had a few tigers that were there, a lion that didn't do much but lay down and just kind of be there, but it was cool to see. But they had Kodiak bears, a bunch of them, and it was so great to see them. And usually, anytime I go to the zoo, now granted, we go to zoos often, especially when I have a trip that I'm planning. What I do is I'll have a trip, and we usually have certain things that I try to get into our trip. So food is always number one. Good restaurants for nighttime is definitely the first thing I'm looking at when we pick any kind of area of where we're going to go. The second thing, I look for a car museum because my husband loves car museums. So usually I'll try to see if there's a car museum that I can squeak in any trip that we do. The third thing I try to find are zoos. And they can be big zoos or little zoos, but we love zoos. So we'll go to zoos as often as we can because we both enjoy it so much. Another thing I like to put in, surprise, surprise, is a baseball game. And maybe it's a major league, maybe it's a minor league. I really don't care. I enjoy the game. I enjoy the feel that's going on. Get in it, do it, see it, experience it. We just love it. So those are the things that we're looking at, or that I'm looking at when I'm trying to pick a place or pick other things to do while we're going on our adventure. So we're at the zoo. Like I said, they had 3 tigers. They had a lion. The mountain lion did not make an appearance, so I was a little bummed at that. They had 2 black jaguars, and it was clear that one was a female and one was a male, and they were in separate compounds, close enough that they could see each other, and the male was making himself known that he was ready, if you get my drift. He was moaning and howling, and it was great to hear because we were in a different part of the zoo at the time. So you just heard this animal, this wild beast, if you will, from far away. He was so muscular, so strong looking, very intimidating, don't get me wrong. They also had a bunch of coyote there, really cool to see. A few foxes. And yeah, we saw the female jaguar as well. She was a lot more red, and you could see her dots, and it was just really, really cool. The sun was out that day. It was a beautiful day. It was just about 62 degrees. Really, really nice and comfortable. You would have loved it. Anybody going would have loved it. But they also had a cool little car museum there. I wasn't a huge fan of the car museum because I feel kind of bad when the car museums don't have a space where the cars can be clean and seen in the best way that they can be. I'm not knocking the zoo at all or the museum at all. It's just what I prefer. I love seeing it in its prime, and when you look at it and you think, oh my goodness, this is how it would be. Instead, they're in parts that I don't want to say anything bad because it wasn't bad. They had so many different older antique cars, and they were really cool to look at. It's just they weren't shiny and special. It's just they were there, and it just bums me out when they aren't as pristine as they could be. But if you like antique cars, I think you would enjoy seeing this. We were there for probably 2 hours, and because it wasn't it's during the school year. We were not bombarded by a bunch of people. The weather was kind of mild. It was sunny. It was beautiful. So I do recommend going there. I think you would find it fascinating, just to walk around. It was expanse of ground, so it was really nice. You didn't feel like the animals were too constricted into where they were. And one really cool thing, so across the street from that zoo is a crap. Now I've just put myself, what do you call it? A taxidermy was across the street. So they actually had, when you first walked into this zoo area before you get your ticket, they had this huge open space, and they had a whole bunch of different shotguns. Anybody who's into guns, I am not, but anybody who's into guns or shotguns or things like that I'm telling you, you would love to just see this. This is before you even get to the zoo or the museum. They had so many, I want to say over 200 guns just hanging there, and they gave the names and when they were designed and all. Very, very cool. And of course they also had a bunch of different animals out that had been taxidermied and stuffed, and a few had been at that zoo, but they had passed, so they were there as a memorial for other people to see. Very interesting, very, very cool. And one thing that we saw right before we left was they had a couple of Kodiak bear cubs. Oh my God, they were so cute. And they were playing with each other and tossing and turning, and just, it was adorable. You definitely would have loved it. And I definitely think that anybody going to this zoo, which again is the Space Farm Zoos and Museum in Sussex, New Jersey, you should definitely check it out. It's a great zoo. So moving on from there, sure, we went to the Martin Guitar Factory. How much fun was that? So that's in Nazareth, Pennsylvania. And it was more than I expected. Now, granted, like I said, my husband is big into guitars and playing them. He loves them. He fixes them. What do you call a Lutheran? No, that's something. A Luther. Oh, God. He would not be happy with me if he heard that, but that's okay. So he fixes guitars. He loves guitars, so we went there. And we had such a good time. The tour shows you so much. And the coolest part about the tour, which seems kind of weird for me to even say this, but they had headsets that you put on, and as you're going through, our tour guide was just talking quietly into the headset, and you heard him. You weren't, wait, what is that person saying? Wait, I'm not there. And I don't know why more tours don't have headsets that go with the tours. It was perfect. I loved it. I heard everything. I understood everything. And if I had a question, I could just put my hand up and David would stop and answer my questions, which was great. But we saw soup to nuts of the whole factory. It was a great tour. I learned so much. And as someone who really doesn't even care as much as my husband does, I found it so interesting, educational. I learned a lot. I think anybody would enjoy that tour, especially if you know anything about music. I like music. I sing a lot, and I can appreciate bands and whatnot. I found the factory tour something really informative, really interesting, a lot of fun, and I would highly recommend it. The whole place is pristine. It's very clean. I was expecting more dust and whatnot because there's so much wood, but not the case at all. It smelled really nice. Granted, there's a lot of wood, so you're smelling that wood smell, but it also smells really clean. The floor was clean. Everything about it was clean. You just walked around and you were thinking, this place really works to have an image. And I mean, the guitars themselves cost a lot of money, and that's what you want from a place making that type of guitar. If you're going to spend that much money on a guitar, you want to know that where it comes from has everything in it that's just of that same caliber, of that same expectation, I would say. You know, when you're looking at it and you're seeing the way things are going through the whole process, and you can see how clean things are and how precise everything is, you realize what you're buying is not just something that was thrown together, but something that people put their heart and soul behind. Look, I'm not, and on any of the things that I'm talking about today, I am not being sponsored by anybody. I'm just telling you how I feel about something. And this place, if you have any interest in knowing about guitar building, where it's coming from and how it's made, I highly recommend going on this tour. There's so much information, and you realize how long it takes to build something, but you also understand why it takes so long for it to be built. And I think that's really cool, because as you're going through, you're realizing, wow, it takes so many steps. No wonder it costs this much. And then you can appreciate, if you are buying that particular guitar, that so much was put behind it. So much thought, so much care, so much dedication, that you're not just buying an instrument, you're buying other people's passion, and it adds to your passion. And it was just really cool all around to be part of that. Okay, where did we go from there? I have a feeling, and I'm not even sure, but I don't even know if this is live streaming the way I think it is. As you know, I don't know what I'm doing here, but I'm trying. And like I said, I just wanted to do this video today because I just didn't feel like doing the video I had planned and then editing it and have it ready to go out tomorrow. So I figured if I did this today, I can catch up with that other video in the next couple of days, and we'll see what happens. Let me know what you think of this kind of video too. My husband and I go on adventures all the time, and I can take more video as to where we are to add into my live stream, or just a video, or I can give you more information on different places that we go to. But let me know. Put in the comments, do you like this type of video? Are you getting any information from it? Are you learning something more than what you had before? Let me know what you want to hear about. I'm not giving you all the information on the donut shops that we stop at. That's a guilty pleasure of mine. It's also, thankfully, a guilty pleasure of my husband's. And anytime we go anywhere, that's always a stop. That's a morning thing. We go for coffee. Well, I get a coffee. He usually gets something else. Maybe sometimes he gets a coffee. But we always stop at a donut place. We don't go to Dunkin's, I'm sorry. We grew up with it. It's changed over time. We're not big fans. But we always try to pick out a donut place, sometimes 2, and yeah, sometimes 3 every morning, so that we can have a couple of donuts. And we did on this trip as well. It's just I don't remember which ones we went to, so that's why I'm not including it in this video today. But if that's something you want to know about, I'll be more than happy to do something like that. You can let me know. There are so many places around here that we've been to that I love, but we always do what we call a donut bang bang. We'll stop a couple of places, get a couple of donuts, and that's our guilty pleasure. That and other food, but there you go. So, okay, where'd we go after the guitar factory? We went to the Mountain Brauhaus in Gardiner, New York. If you like German food and you happen to be near Gardiner, New York, or if you think you can take a day trip and go there, you need to go there. That place was so good. I can't even explain how good it was. My husband and I love German food. And maybe it's because it takes an hour to get to the closest one to us. So it's something special. So again, when we go on an adventure and I'm looking for zoos or I'm looking for car museums, I'm also always looking for a German restaurant. And I'm usually surprised that I can find a place in places that I don't necessarily think I'm going to find one. So this particular one in Gardiner, New York was so good. We sat at the bar. We were very lucky because I didn't make any reservations. We just showed up, and we actually got there a little later than I had originally expected because we stayed at the guitar factory a little longer than I had thought that we would. Which is fine. It wasn't like I had, oh my God, here we are. We have to leave. No, I don't stress about time usually when we go, when we take trips or anything like that. So what we did is we got there and it was already packed. Packed. The whole dining area packed. Outside people packed. And thankfully when we showed up, there was 2 spots at the bar. We hopped right in and we were able to get a couple of cocktails and start eating. There were people that just all night long kept coming, kept coming, kept coming. I can't even say, it just didn't stop. We were there on a, Friday night. So maybe that's why it was so busy, but I definitely think it's a place that you should try, especially if you like German food. Some people don't. I don't understand those people, but you do you. I'll do me. I had an appetizer, which I don't normally do when I'm at a restaurant. I usually just want my dinner. I definitely want a couple of cocktails, and sometimes I'll get a dessert depending on where I am. But they had this Reuben strudel. I love Reubens, and you just threw the word in strudel, I was all over it. And when I read about it, I was literally like, you made this for me. Now, it didn't come out the way I expected. I was expecting more like something that was almost like a Danish, something a little bit flatter, something that was entwined or I don't know what the right word, but enclosed in the pastry part. But I'm not saying anything bad about it. It was literally a thick amount of shredded corned beef, and then it had some sauerkraut that had cheese in it. And the pastry went around, and the pastry had a layer of cheese. I think it was Gruyere cheese. And then it was fried perfectly, so it was nice and crispy. And then they put more cheese on top and let that all bake. Are you kidding me? Had a little bit of Thousand Island on the side that you could dip in. So good. I only ate like half of it, mostly because I wanted my meal. And I had to think about other foods that were going in, but if you like Reubens and you like pastry, that's one. This particular German place also had warm German potato salad. I love warm German potato salad. I think it's fabulous. I love that warmth that comes with it, and then the mustard with the pickle flavor. It was delicious. I actually got the bratwurst and the knockwurst platter. And instead of having the sauerkraut, because I had the sauerkraut with the appetizer, I had them add some spätzle. Oh, it was so good. I ate so much of that. And when I was close to finishing my plate, I asked for the dessert menu just so I could see maybe there might be something that I want for dessert and should I stop eating accordingly, which I did. I finished my knockwurst and my bratwurst, but stopped on the potatoes and the spätzle so that I could have my dessert, which was a German, obviously German, but it was that Black Forest cake. So good. It wasn't as dense as normal Black Forest cakes that I've had before. It was really light, but super flavorful. We loved it. The drink that I was drinking that night was a Berliner Weiss or Weiss. It was like a Hefeweizen that they put some raspberry syrup in with. So good. I really, really enjoyed that. And again, it was the Mountain Brauhaus in Gardiner, New York. So if you're looking for German food and you're in that area, I highly, highly, highly recommend you going there. It was so, so good. So the next day, which was Saturday, that was the last day of our trip, we stopped on our way home at the Trevor-Lovejoy Zoo. This is actually in a school or a campus of a school, but it is an actual zoo that's there. It's in Millbrook, New York. It's in a very woodsy place. It's small, but not too small. Really, really, really nice. Very special. I kind of felt like I was doing something that I shouldn't be. You know, I shouldn't have known about it. It felt a little, I don't know, almost like no one should know about it, but somehow I found out about it and I could go. It was really endearing to me. Like I don't know how to word it other than because it was so quiet in that area and it was in the woods and you could hear the water flowing from the river that was there. It was very intimate. It was very special. It just, I don't know, hit the heartstrings, I gotta tell you. And it was very endearing. Again, I would recommend going to this place because it was so sweet and just, I don't know, if you go, please let me know that you enjoyed it because it was just so nice. They had a few animals there, a couple of inside things that you could look at, and I mean the inside things I don't really care for because the smell is just a little strong. Not my favorite. But the outside things, like they had a couple of snow owls that were absolutely beautiful. They had a red wolf there that was, when we got there, was actually howling. So it just felt like he was howling for us and saying hello, and we were able to see him. There was a binturong. There was a red panda that was so cute. They had some... Oh, my husband's going to be so mad at me because I'm going to say kangaroo, but they're not kangaroo. They're the smaller ones. But they had babies, and that was really cute to see them in the mom's pouches and their heads sticking out. It was adorable. They had a bobcat there that got so close to us that we could see all the different colors in its fur, and it was so special. And we walked around and we came back to the bobcat area. We couldn't see the bobcat, but all of a sudden it was like, because there was nobody there, I kind of went shh, and my husband just stopped too, and we could hear the purring, and it was this like really deep purr, so much so that I felt it, like my whole body felt this vibration from the bobcat. I can't even tell you how special that was because it was so intimate. It's nothing that you would normally feel. You wouldn't normally, when you're at a zoo, there's tons of people and you're just hearing all this noise. It was so quiet, other than they had some turkeys and the turkeys were like gobble 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 like crazy, and it was almost like, shh, quiet you. But if you could get yourself to not listen to the turkeys, hearing the bobcat was just so special. I can't even explain how it just took us to a different place, and I think you would really enjoy it. As we were leaving the river that's there, there is a river otter, and we were able to see it, and it was really cool because he was in he could jump out and go to like the zoo part that kept him safe and gave him shelter, but he was able to jump right out and go right into the river that was there, and that was very, very special to see as well. The cost to go to that zoo was not a lot. I want to say it was like $7 a person. Not a lot at all. In the woods, very quiet. Again, I would just recommend it. That is, again, the Trevor-Lovejoy Zoo. That's in Millbrook, New York. Really, if you get a chance to go around that area, I would highly recommend you going. So what else is on our trip? Oh, so heading home, we stopped at a couple of antique places, antique shops. I'm not going to get into that because it was literally just to take up time and to break up the whole driving home thing. We like going to antique shops. I can't even tell you, maybe 1 in every 100 we buy something. So it's not like we're going antiquing. We're just kind of looking around and seeing things and making comments and whatnot. So, but we went to a few. But we stopped at one place for dinner, although actually it was more like a late lunch. I want to say it was about 3 o'clock. And we went to this place that was in Winsted, Connecticut. We'd never been there before, not even in that area. I happened to pull up Google and looked at what the restaurants were. You could tell that we were getting into a more populated area. So we stopped. I looked on my phone. And I found this place. It's called Mario's Tuscany Grill. Again, we sat at the bar. We had a cocktail. We ordered some food. The food was so good. I got the salmon, and it was stuffed with grilled shrimp and roasted red peppers and spinach. It was over a bed of white rice, and it had like this champagne. They called it a champagne sauce, but it was like a champagne tomato sauce. So absolutely delicious. The people in there were very friendly. I guess there was a couple of owners, but one of the owners was there that day, and he came out and he actually served us our food, and he said, "Hi, have you been here before?" And we talked a little bit with him. Super, super nice guy. The patrons in there were also very friendly. It wasn't like they were like, "Hey, what are these people doing here? They don't belong here," or anything like that. So if you happen to be in Winsted, Connecticut, I would definitely recommend going to the Mario's Tuscany Grill. They had a lot of different things on their menu, and I know that what I got was great, but looking around and seeing what other people are eating, it all looked good. So there you go. So that brings us to today. And today is Sunday. We got home last night, which was Saturday night. What we were going to do today, we didn't have anything really planned. I had some laundry that I did earlier today. But today ended up being a nicer day than it was going to be. Originally, it was supposed to be rainy and cold. Instead, it's sunny outside. And the weather actually got up a little bit past 60 degrees. So I knew the WooSox. I knew the WooSox are playing. We live close to Worcester, and we like going to the Worcester WooSox games. And I had originally looked into going last night. They had a 4:05 game last night, but we didn't because I didn't want to rush, and it was still a little bit cool. We don't like going when it's too cool. But we went today because it was a little warmer than yesterday, and it was a 1:05 game. So we thought, okay, why don't we go in the middle of the day? That's probably better. Great game. I can't say enough about Coney Island dogs because they're always so good. And the reason why I like them is I can say, hey, give me ketchup, mustard, relish, and I get a dog that's warm and ready to eat, and it has ketchup, mustard, relish on it, and I don't have to think about it. I don't have to stop and open little packets and put it on the dog. It's already done. Coney Island dogs, if you haven't had one, they actually have a place in Worcester. But if you're not feel like going to the actual place, you can always get Coney Island dogs at a WooSox game. The WooSox have a great little stadium. It's very friendly there. You can just feel the excitement from the people that work there. They're always very positive, very welcoming, and yay, the WooSox won. I actually really like going to the WooSox because I like seeing the guys come in, and you get to know them a little bit better and see how they play. Of course, then they leave us and they go to the Red Sox, which I like as well, but there's part of me that kind of thinks that it's a bummer because I sit there, I'm like, wait a second, my boys just went to the Red Sox, but then I get to watch the Red Sox and I know all the players on the Red Sox because they came from the WooSox. So now when I'm watching the Red Sox, they're my old boys from the WooSox. So it's fun watching a new group of young men developing their skills, getting called up to the big league, and it's kind of special to watch and be part of. If you like baseball, definitely try to get to a WooSox game because they're a lot of fun and there's a great little stadium. So that's all I have for you today. Just wanted to tell you about my extended vacation or extended weekend with my husband. We had a fabulous weekend. I think I got a little color today because we moved from we were sitting at the WooSox. We were in the shade. It was actually kind of chilly, and then we moved to the sun area, and I think I got a little color because I'm definitely a little warm. But we had such a great time at the game. We had a great time since Thursday, our little road trip and our little adventure. Hopefully you'll be able to try some of the places that we went to because I think you would really enjoy them. And again, if this is something that, or the style of video or style of information is something that interests you, please let me know and I'll do more of that. Usually I talk about self-help and self-care, and this was my self-help. This is my self-care. I needed a break. I needed a time to go, okay, I don't care what I'm eating. I don't care what we're doing. I just needed to have time with my husband and be with him and have us just have a little adventure. We do this often, thankfully. We both enjoy it. We both like being able to check out for a couple of days and just do something fun. Experience different places, experience different restaurants. If you have some place that you want to recommend in that general vicinity, put it in the comments. Let me know what you want to know about. Let me know if there's some place you want us to go investigate. We will. But we'll be going on a couple more adventures this year, and I'll be telling you all about it as well. So thank you for being here. This is Ask Ellen. Ask me what you want to know. Ask me the things that you're looking to find out, especially if it has anything to do with self-help or adventures in the area, and we'll talk about them. So I'll see you in the next one. Again, the video that was probably going to come out tomorrow at 11 and will be coming out a little bit later because I didn't feel like making it today, and that's why I have this video now. So I'll be with you again soon. Check out my channel. Let me know what you want to know about, and we'll go from there. Until then, I'll see you in the next one.